Hey guys, it's Leo Stargazer. I'm here today with our weekly sign-specific astrological reading. This is for the week of August 27th through September 2nd, and this reading is for Capricorn. Okay, so this week I am seeing two major things that I want to focus on for this reading, and those are that Mars moves into Libra from Virgo, and then there's a full moon in Pisces on the 30th. So kind of an emotional moment, and Mars moving into Libra is kind of intense. So kind of emotions may be running high this week. So the reading that I chose is thinking, feeling, doing, because I really want to understand what you're going to be thinking, how you're going to be feeling about it, and also what you're going to be doing in response to all of this. So as I begin my shuffle, I'm going to be repeating my intention, the intention that I set for you for this week. And that intention is balanced communication. I think, above all this week, from the astrology, balanced communication is going to be crucial for you. And I want the tarot to show us what we're thinking, feeling, and doing about all of that. So let's get started. Balanced communication. Thinking. What are we thinking about this week, or how might we be thinking this week? The Emperor reversed. Okay. Not as bad as it may seem. Feeling. How are you feeling this week? Eight of Wands reversed. Okay. Starting out very interesting. Let's move on to doing our final position. What are we doing this week? Queen of Wands reversed. Okay. Reversals. Two wands, but both of them reversed. And the reversed Emperor. Okay, so the Emperor reversed in thinking is showing me that where you may identify with him more as upright in your thoughts, especially usually, this week you may be called to imbue the way you usually work with the Emperor, with authority, with his structure. You may be called to imbue all of that with thoughts of compassion. I think this is going to be that Pisces full moon that's going to be kind of forcing that on you. This idea that in some of your most solid structures, especially the ones that you've set up in your mind, that those are going to be imbued with a sense of emotional resonance. I think the way that that translates for you, though, based on this card, is that it's going to translate into thoughts of compassion. Thoughts of ways that you can maybe make some boundaries a little more flexible. So that's how I'm going to look at that. But the Eight of Wands reversed in the feeling position is showing me that while we are going to let those feelings in, while we are going to allow those boundaries to be flexible, we might not do that permanently. So some of this extra emotion coming from this full moon may only be as long as the full moon. May only last as long as the full moon lasts. And with the Eight of Wands reversed, I'm seeing that this might be a challenge, that this emotional engagement might be challenging. It could be an obstacle to overcome. It could go by fast. It could also kind of stay with you. Even if the emotion goes by quickly, the results may stay with you. Either way, though, I think it'll still be a challenge for you to deal with all of that emotion. And we have the Queen of Wands in doing. And so what that's showing me is it's bringing me back to our intention, this idea of balancing communication. I think that you have two reversed people in positions of power. You're okay with people in positions of power, and you can deal with that and what that means. The Queen of Wands in doing is showing me that you are going to be able to respond to any kind of overwhelming emotional stuff you have to deal with. You're going to be able to respond to that by engaging with the structures you've already set up. So injecting emotion into the emperor is not going to tear down all of his walls. When we say flexible boundaries, we don't mean that ones you can't operate within. You want to be able to operate within them. You just have to deal with sometimes being overly emotional or other people being overly emotional. And you have to be able to deal with that. You will be able to deal with that. You'll be able to deal with it quickly because you will embrace what the Queen of Wands reversed is. She's a response to watery emotions, stuff that she's not used to dealing with. But she still does it. She still stays in power. The same way the Emperor reversed still stays in power. They both just bring in elements that they don't usually associate with or utilize. Similarly to how you're being called to do the exact same thing, to engage with the emotional side of things you don't usually deal with, to let emotions that you're not used to, let them in. Keep a boundary, but let those in. Letting in that emotion will let you find a new way to be structured and boundaried. The same way it does for these two royals, even reversed. But once the moon's over, for the rest of the week, I think you will be able to be right back where you belong, but maybe understanding a little bit of flexibility. Maybe understanding that you can still be in power with just maybe a little bit of emotion. It's okay to feel it a little bit, especially this week. I'll see you next time.